Hello, good morning. Sorry it took me a little bit longer to get going here. I started the stream all intents and plans of actually starting early, and then Zilby decided that he really needed a little bit more food. I've been playing with buttons with him, so he was hitting his food button. He didn't like the amount of food that he got this morning, so a little bit more for him. Asitsu, hello. Good morning. I think it's is it evening for you? I think it's evening for you. So good evening. All right, let's where are we? So it's been a couple days since I've worked on this. But I think the general idea is we've sent a request out to Auth0. So we sent the entire browser to Auth0. You log in. Afternoon. Okay, close enough. So like sometime during the day. Well, good afternoon. You fill in username and password, you create an account or you log in, it doesn't really matter, and then it sends you back to our hello callback, which then extracts the token from the URL and puts that into cookie. Oh, I guess it also compares the state in that URL to make sure it's really from us and not from some like forged other person trying to like pretend to be logged in. Now it redirects us back to app, and now this is probably not the first time we're running this, is it? I'm guessing that, yeah, this is not going to be the first time we're running this. Because when it goes to the use callback, this one loads. So the use callback, the auth callback is inside of this switch, which means this component does load and run, which means this use effect will run before my other one, which is not exactly the timing that I want. I want this to run elsewhere. So I wonder if I would actually I kind of need to do this here, but also I need to continue to do this in auth callback. Let's look at this. So we have here's our token. We have our token here. Setting our user inside would be really nice at this point in time. Now, I'm in a use effect once inside of here. So I need to do a request. Let's load up that documentation again. I need to do this request here to get the user profile. Okay, that shouldn't be too terribly hard. It is asynchronous, but I can use an async block here. Either I can use Wasm features async. Wasm features, Wasm pack, Wasm web Wasm. One of those libraries. We have it installed, so it'd be very easy for us to use. I would also love to learn how to use the use async, which is a hook very similar to use effect once. The way it works is like this. This would be like get like user profile equals use async This hook returns state and a run callback. Okay, so the way some kind of state, use async. I guess it's a use async state. But then we have the ability to do async move inside of this. And it's a block, just like the other ones. And I can now put a request inside, like some kind of asynchronous request inside of here. So inside of auth, I believe we started doing this and I sort of deleted it so that it would compile. But if we have a pub function, get user profile, we'll take in a token. We'll probably return a result with a user inside. You're going to need to be asynchronous. It's on the other side. Yep. I've been constantly doing that, putting the async on the wrong side of the pub. Okay, so if I do that, so now I can get user callback from in here. So, get user profile state. So I want to call that and then return the result of it. So get user profile auth params. Oh, I have this down here. Okay, I want to use the auth module get user profile. Pass it in not auth params, but I need the token. So I don't have access to that. Well, that's going to be a problem right here. Is how do I get that? I could try to load it from a cookie immediately after we set it and use that to pass it in. I can't use an async inside of another use. I don't think there's a use async with dependencies, right? There's a use async with options. Not really all that helpful. So I don't think we can do this. So instead, once we have the so we have the token, we set a cookie. Then we can do a block here. This is be wasm bindgen features. Spawn local. We have an async move block. I'm going to move the token into here. Which should be fine. I wonder if I need to clone the token, just that way it's not thinking that it's going to be like going to, oh, it's going to move in here, which then it's like this is then off of a moved one. See, I'm going to need to clone the token. So let's block this out. So I'll clone the token into this block and then move this one into here. Then we can now call get user profile from here. So let's why can't you autofill this for me? Okay, so we'll have okay with a user in it. I guess for this one, I'll just do that. And then we'll have an error in it. So if there is an error, then I want to, well, regardless of what it is, we're going to be setting the internal store. So here we have this auth store. I'm using the dispatch here. I'm in an else block, which means this one didn't happen. So hopefully it should know that auth store is still like good for me to use. And that the same thing should then all be in here. So if we're okay, I have this user. I'm also a little bit, there's no errors. I'm a little bit concerned that this is not telling me what kind of user this is. Oh, because I need to await it because it's async. Await. There we go. That's working now. Okay, so user. I actually don't know if I need to return this in here. I don't think it's helpful. What I need to do is now do a auth store dispatch reduce okay, so store.user equals some user. And if there's an error, auth store I guess it can't really be an error. I want to turn this into an error string. So that okay, so then if I have you saved into the store at this time, then it's going to head back to here. So let's test this. Let's see if that works. So hit sign up. comes in here and big error message. Big error message. Panicked it yet not yet implemented. Well, you know, that is because get user profile is not yet implemented, which we can implement now. So this is going to be glue net HTTPS request get okay our URL for this. Okay, so I want to go to my domain, but I can get my domain through this. And I don't think there's anything else. That's just it. Oh, you know what? There's probably headers. There's this header right here. So I need an authorization header with the bare access token. So that's going to be this auth header. And we're good to go. So we can now send this. We have to await that coming back. And then we have the full data. So then what we're going to do is deserialize this from a JSON string in the body and turn it into this user. So I want to JSON. Oh, right. Question mark U, and then we can JSON. You have to turn into a user. We await you again. And more question marks. And I want to return an OK result for this. I think I have to do the question mark for this one because it's not going to be exactly the right kind of result. So this at least like handles the error, and then I just say, yeah, it's an OK. Now I don't have anything in this user, so that's a thing. I'm not exactly sure which of these things we have in it. I looked before and it's like nothing special. I think sub is like the username. Oh, sorry, the user ID that Auth0 has for us. So if I return this, hey, that worked. So I should be able to see, here's the get Okay, so I got an options. I got the user info. Yep. And get all the fun information. So things that I want. The sub is the user ID. I probably need that to like request specific things off of the user, but I don't know if it really matters that much. Nickname, however, I think I need. So we got nickname. And do sub as whatever. I think this is the ID. Name I think is username. No, because like email is the username. I can add in other things as needed here, it looks like. So if I just have nickname and ID, this should be fine. Missing field ID. Oh, right, because this is sub. There we go. Okay, so I've got this in the store. So we're gonna head back to our landing page, and if we have a user, actually this is gonna be the top nav bar. If we have a user, I want to have like a welcome and then your username or nickname. That's gonna be that's authenticated too. I guess this should be an option. Do we have an authenticated as part of this, don't we? Is oh, we need to set this to true too. That's easy enough. Inside of here, we get the user profile. We got it. So I want to set the user. I also want to set store dot is authenticated equals true. Okay, so we need two things out of here. I need is authenticated and I need the user. I can get that twice, or I can just do this inside of here. If I put another div in, what does that look like? Oh, that's right in the center. That's not where I want it to go. So I want this inside of here. But maybe not exactly like that. I want these. Well, okay, this div is. I wonder if I want it to be. like a span or a list. Oh, or I use a div. It's not necessarily a paragraph, but it is text of some kind. I can do this as a span. That shows up there. There's almost no space between these. I think there's something like a margin right. You can do a margin right like 1 or something like that. It's not necessarily grid. I could do them as columns. That's if I'm doing grid though. I just want a little bit of space between each of these. So if I do class call, either call or call dash something. What if I do call? You would need to be wrapped inside of something span. I just do that. What do you look like? You don't help. Now if I update you to like a call dash 5. Yeah, okay, so you're not going to do anything unless I'm in a row, most likely. So if I have something like class equals row here. Okay, that kind of works. It's wrapping around because this is really small. So I wonder if I want to do this as a row. Here. Oh, this is the container. So I wonder if I need another one for a row, and then these would be calls inside of calls. It's like the way this would work. We have our container and then one more with a row inside of it. And this would be like, okay, one of 2 columns. Okay, so the way I think that makes it work is we have this container and then I have another div class equals row. Put you inside of there, and then you'll be columns. So call you don't need to be columns in here. Okay. Interesting. So if I do now, you call like 4, let's say. I also want this to be on the right hand side and this to be on the left hand side. Sort of like this. So second to the bottom. So on the row, justify content between. And then you're doing call 4, call 4. I think 12 is the maximum number of sort of columns that I can do here. I wonder if the size is wrong for... No. So justify content between. Oh, so if I just do auto columns, that almost works. Oh, and then we have these columns inside of here, which I bet I don't want. Wait, where do I see that? Oh, wait, no, those are fine. These are... Okay. Never mind. That's probably fine. Okay, so they're flex items because... Okay, so they're flex items, justify content between... If I did justify content center, would that not break? No, look at that. Okay, it's still on the left hand side here. I think what I need to be doing is not the grid stuff. I think I need to be paying attention to the nav bar. So not the container type stuff, but the nav bar here. So all this stuff is on the left-hand side. Oh, I kind of wish that they made that large so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, yeah. So this is all on the left-hand side. And then we get other stuff on the right. Like this. So we have our nav, div class container fluid. So here's our nav, div class container fluid. Then we have stuff that goes on the left. So that's a navbar brand. Navbar, okay. So that's this one right here. So I don't think I want container fluid, and then I just start putting stuff in here. A Bullfrist dad, hello. So if I take you out, have I read anything about Google Carbon? I mean, I've heard somebody say the name before, but I don't think I've actually like looked into even what it is. So no, unfortunately not. And then these go away too. So that's you, you. You and you. They're writing a successor language to C++, basically just rewriting C++ to be more like Rust. Interesting. I wonder why they're choosing to do that, or is it a research project? Because Microsoft has that language that they're working on for their research project, but it's not really planned on becoming a real thing. It's just more of like them just sort of like understanding the true benefits and values and like what they might want to like help put into Rust. But with Google, I never really know, because they sometimes just want things to be theirs and to have more control over it. I don't know, I stopped caring about what they had to say after they wrote that C++ is dominant in performance critical software. I mean, historically, it's very true. Like C++ has been dominant in performance critical software. I think the problem comes in when we start saying things like it's the only language that can be used in performance critical software. Because then clearly, like these days, that's no longer true. You probably could have like made an argument that in the past that may not have been true either. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what their plans are with it, and like is it actually like a real thing that they're doing, or is it just a C or assembly don't accept another language for actual critical software. You watched the Carbon Odin comparison video and came away thinking that you dislike both. Interesting. So I don't really know Odin either. So I don't know how to like compare that in my mind. Okay, so I have my image here for the brand, then I have my text, and then I have this like test here, which really this is going to be something like welcome username. We have this span, so link route to not found. I don't really need that at all. That was just a test for me to go there. And then the sign up. Carbon is supposed to be C++, what Kotlin is to Java or TypeScript is to JS. So it is very interesting that they've been creating these other languages, which are essentially copies with like just some minor changes. For their own stuff. You know what? Maybe it's because they got burned so heavily by the Oracle Java thing. That makes a lot of sense. That they would then like go to that. Okay, so you're all in between here like this, which is not what I want. So I have this container fluid. I'm not telling you to go around and do anything else like this. I want you to be closer to this. So we have navbar brand for that, which is an A. So there's that navbar brand. Then they're using these buttons. Collapse. Okay, so then they have a div. Is this actually a collapsible thing? Is that this thing? I bet that's what this is. So they do this right next to here. So button class, navbar toggler, type button, data BS toggle collapse, data BS toggle. Okay, so target navbar nav alt markup. So where does that other one come in? Right here, this div here. Okay, so immediately after the button, we throw you in. Okay, so changing. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there's 3 of these. This is an ID for this sort of like collapsing. I could just leave this in here like that. It's a hidden thing. I don't know if it really hurts having it exactly as that name. Okay. So that's great. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I want you. Okay, I think you're like that. Oh, I have an error now. Oh, right, because of this home here. So if I were to remove you, we just basically implement exactly what they have here. Okay, so that works as is. Okay, great. So now I can put my stuff inside of here. So specifically, I want. Oh, I wonder if it's because of this div class navbar nav. I wonder if that's what it is. So I have here the navbar logo. I'd love to have one more thing right here. Love this thing. So can I make you, let's make you a div. We have this as navbar text. Can I also do this as navbar brand? Oh, I can. Okay, so that's right next to you. That's highlightable as I put over it, but nothing happens with it. So probably not navbar brand. Okay, that works for that. These are all sort of like highlightable. Okay, so then we come down here, we have all these buttons actually are shifted over by one. Okay, so inside of our collapse, which is on the starting on the left-hand side, navbar nav. So these are links then. So here we would have home. Okay, so then we have this image. I don't care about clicking it. We have just the title essentially. And then you go home. So I don't want you to be an A anymore. I want you to be a link. Oh, but I can't put an ARIA current in here because you don't care about that. And I don't think I can add classes to this either. Yes, then that's out there. So I need this class wrapped around it. So I wonder if I want to do a span. Okay, that pulls in our link here. I'll have to match the styling of this. Or I'll have to do it programmatically, which I don't want to. I want to be able to use the link route. Okay, so the rest of these I don't have right now. Or we just do where that's a clickable one. That's another like huge opportunity here. So if I do the image like this, what if instead I do link route to that wraps around this. Then I don't need this one at all. Then we don't have this. I can click on you to go home. Okay, that works. All right, so we have everything inside of here is going to be what's inside, what gets collapsed down, which, yeah, there's nothing in here right now, which is fine. But I want to change that. I want to now have stuff on the right-hand side. Immediate child elements of navbar class use flex layout and will default to justify content space between. Use additional flex utilities as needed to adjust this behavior. So here we have our A brand navbar, and then you just do a, okay, they just do an immediate form here with a deflex. So that would be a div. Do you have something that's not a div? Okay, this is to the right. Okay, so here's the home. This all looks on the left-hand side. Yeah. Okay, so here's that collapse. So essentially, I would want to add this inside of here. Okay, so let's... So you're showing up on this left-hand side. You're inside of here, but I noticed that this has like... any auto, so I don't want that one. I want the equivalent to this. They have deflex. That didn't do anything. So here's this deflex. Okay, so it's display flex. Oh, because there's a wrapper around it. That's why. Deflex here. And then you have class ME2. And then the button goes right after it. ME2. What does that do? So this would be a... I can do another span. So your class equals deflex, and then your ME2. Oh, it's a margin right. Okay, so that's a margin right. Margin end. And then 0.5, so half. Okay. It's not going to make it right side oriented, though. What am I missing from this? It's like this search bar is over here, so form, class deflex, roll. I'm not seeing anything here saying like be on the right hand side. And then it's mix and match here. So I'm guess like I've been confused by how they're getting the spacing in here. So they have this, they have the navbar collapse, navbar collapse, which we have right here. So right here, collapse, navbar collapse. They have a bunch of, okay, they have a single element that holds all of these things. And then they have another, oh, so do I just need two things in here? Is that all I'm missing? Like, I think it would need to be, that's a nothing, right? Like that's not going to show up as anything. Yeah, I need to put like a div in it or something. That's going to be a block element. That's going to create a new line? No? There's my div. Okay, so I think I need to tell it that's like some kind of thing, right? A nav bar nav. Well, that didn't do it. So navbar nav, and then I need navbar text here. It doesn't like that. Wonder. So there's the margin and auto. That might also do it. That makes it like the auto, so it pushes the stuff to the right. That might be what it is. So we have navbar nav. I wonder if it's just the margin and auto that really is doing it. I don't think I need this at all. There we go. Okay. So it was the margin end auto. I have an empty div here, and then it pushes everything to the right, and after that, and so that's where this shows up. Okay, that makes sense. So we have welcome username. So what I want to do is find out if we're authenticated to then display the username. So I need to grab let is authenticated So I want auth store. Store dot. Can I get you? Oh, that's inside of this callback. That's why. Oh, and you're not being used at all. So I can just do this outside of here and then use it. Okay, so is authenticated. It's going to be our auth store. I want state. We want to map. Okay, so I want to get out. Now I could do this as a tuple to grab all the things out that I need right now, which is the two things. I need the username and I need the is authenticated. So let's see. Let's do this as a tuple. So this will be store dot is authenticated and store dot user. Now you're an option. If we're authenticated, I can trust. Well, I mean, maybe I can trust a little bit strong, but I should be able to trust. It would be a bug if it's wrong. Otherwise, what's the point of like is authenticated, right? To have the user there. I guess I could just grab the entire user out like this. So we'll do an unwrap or default. And so now we have an option with the user inside of it and this Boolean. So we have is authenticated and the user. We need to clone. Right, we need to clone you out. Then instead of here for our welcome username, I only want to display this if is authenticated is true. Otherwise, don't display that at all. Okay, so you don't have anything in there. Then I want an else. Okay, so if we're not authenticated, I want this sign up button in here. And this would be a nav link, right? Which we saw. Yeah, a class. Okay, so give nav link to an a tag. So a sign up. Okay, and then you come over here, and you should be fine because you're outside of this thing. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we're not signed up. I hit sign up. All right. That sends me back over to here. We have now welcome username. I want to actually put in the real username that I have. I can do like 2 spans in here, or I can create like a welcome message for this. I think I can also do something like this. Oh wait, we can do like a format inside of here. And you're going to be so is authenticated. We should do this as the user. I want to grab the username out here now. So username equals, so we want user.map. Nickname. Okay, I'll use nickname. Can I put that in here? Are you gonna be okay with an option? Probably not. I could then unwrap or default. So that'll be an empty string in the case that it doesn't show up. So sign up. Welcome, Brooks. Okay. All right. So we've got that. That works when we hit the sign up button. Okay, so we're making really good progress now. For automated testing purposes, because that would be really nice if we can automatically test this. There's some problems with that. I can't actually go and control auth0 from Cypress. There's a whole bunch of reasons why I don't want to do that. I guess like part of it is there would be a violation of terms and services. The bigger reason probably is because that's auth0's domain, it's their code, and there's a really high likelihood that they're gonna change things around, which would break my automated tests. So I should never really like test other people's code on their own domains. It should be like in my own domain. Okay, so how would I do this? Well, if I get a token from Cypress, then I can insert that token into a cookie and then refresh this page. And then that should, if we like head here with an active good token, that should then load up and welcome Brooks. So that's how we can make sure that we're logged in. It's going to be a second time where we're requesting information from that. Let's take a look at what more stuff we need to get done. Okay, so user logged in automatically after signing up. That is true now. Sampling no longer visible when logged in. That is true. Welcome username is displayed when logged in. That is true. A log out button is visible. Well, so we don't have that. We need a log out button next. What other stuff? End-to-end test written. So that's gonna be like one of the next bigger things. But okay, a log out button. We can start writing that, and I don't know how long I'm gonna have. Well, I know how long. I have 5 minutes to write this before I have to spin down. So log out button. That's going to be right here. So if we're authenticated, I need another. I mean, I guess instead of like a span, I kind of want to do this as a list. The same that they do here. We have this like UL navbar nav. And then they just have a bunch of stuff with nav items. So what if I do UL class equals navbar nav. Okay, these are nav item. Oh, I see. Okay. Then I close this down and I put U inside of here. I actually don't need necessarily the span because I could do navbar item and also your navbar text. Like that. So far, so good. Okay, so then I'll do another navbar item here. And we're going to put a button now for logging out, which is really a link. It's once again, it's going to be one of these links. So I can do it like this. So we'll have an A. Okay, where are you going? To log out. It's a GET request, but it's really going to someplace and then they're going to return me back to my URL. So I have to create this URL. Let's do that inside of auth. Okay, so we have our domain, v2 client ID. Okay, so we have client ID, return to, and then the logout URL. Okay, so then the final one is okay. You're yelling at me because this doesn't exist. I need to add it into the .env. So I'm going to do that in the other screen so I don't expose all of my environment variables. Platform web. Okay, so so I want an auth0 logout URL HTTP localhost. I guess I just want to go to 8080 and slash. That's it. Just to go there. Okay. Right. So create the logout URL here. Okay, so logout URL. I want a class. This is a nav link. Data test auth. Okay, I don't need us to do a data test on this. And on click, I probably do want to have an on click for this, so that we delete the state and we delete the cookies, so we don't think that we're logged in anymore. But the way it's going to look like until we get all that written out is like this. So we are signed up, we click this, we're in here, and now we have a logout button. So perfect. Now if I click you as a logout button, we're going to need to then set this up and actually like do the thing, which I have. Logout button is visible, but it's not working. So you're both done now. Do I have something for like actually being able to log out? Yeah, as a logged in viewer, I want to log out as a completely different story. So actually just having the button, having this here is actually solves this this story or this like requirement. So I can now say, okay, logout button is visible. So user flow is done. So end-to-end tests written are next. So that will be coming up tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. I'll be doing this again at around 7 a.m. Mountain Time, and we'll get about an hour 15 minutes before I need to do stuff. So with that, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and have a great rest of your days, and I'll see you next time. Bye.